Have you ever had one of those moments where you suddenly realize, wow, life has become really serious? Not in a bad way and not terrible, but just serious. Maybe it's those to-do lists, those endless responsibilities, appointments, the never-ending stress, or lots of managing mental load, holding everything together, trying to be sensible or trying to be productive in some way or the other, and trying to keep up. And maybe without fully noticing, you stopped playing, stopped laughing, stopped doing things simply because they made your heart happy. When was the last time you laughed so hard your belly hurt? Or danced in the kitchen? Or lay in the sun doing absolutely nothing? Or jumped into water just because? Or watched the sunset without rushing somewhere else? Or did something completely unnecessary simply because it brought you joy? And especially if life has felt hard, there is a quiet thought somewhere inside saying, am I even allowed to feel light again? If that feels familiar, let's explore that together because I'm sure I can help you to shift that energy in a really, really good way. Maybe grab a glass of water or a nice drink in the sunshine or a warm tea if winter has wrapped around you. And if you can, just sit back for a few minutes, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hello, and a warm welcome to my podcast show, Your Fertility Counselor. I'm your host, Tanya Fessler, and together we will dive into all things fertility, offering support, expert insights, and practical evidence-based advice for anyone navigating their fertility journey. So grab a cup of tea and make yourself comfortable. Let's get started. Hello, and a warm welcome back. Today, I want us to talk about joy, play, lightness, and the beautiful little human inside all of us that sometimes gets forgotten, your inner child, who is precious, who is important, and who matters the most. Because somewhere along the way, many of us quietly learned, be responsible, be productive, be practical, keep going, and grow up. And while, yes, life asks things of us, especially when we're navigating uncertainty, fertility, stress, loss, relationship, families, caregiving, or simply adulthood, sometimes survival quietly replaces joy. And this matters more than we realize, actually, because joy is not frivolous, play is not childish, and lightness is not laziness. In fact, our nervous system often heals through laughter, connection, safety, playfulness, rest, and wonder, and those big warm hugs and moments where we stop bracing ourselves. And perhaps you don't need to become someone happy, or perhaps you simply need permission to reconnect with that inner child of yours. Reconnect with the part of you who once knew exactly what joy felt like. So let me gently ask you, when you were little, what made you feel alive? Was it running barefoot? Or was it maybe swimming? I remember I loved drawing and just listening to the sound of nature. I could be there and drawing a whole afternoon. I used to pitch a little tent in the garden. So, because I felt most connected to nature when I was right in there. I also spent a lot of time in the forest, playing with the roots of these enormous giant trees. And I made my little house there. Together with my friends, we used to spend endless hours playing in the forest until my mom came on her bike to collect us for dinner because we just simply got lost in time. Or then maybe your little one loved reading for hours, or doing music, playing music, or listening to music, or maybe baking. Maybe there was something that deeply connected you with spending time together with a loved one, with grandparents, or your parents, your siblings, your friends. Or maybe you were one of those that loved climbing on trees, or riding a bike, watching clouds pass by. It's something I still do today. I love, love, love just lying in the grass, watching clouds and brainstorming shapes with my children. We then say, like, who can see an animal? Who can see this? Who can see that? And it's so beautiful to go into this imaginative kind of energy. Or then again, collecting shells or collecting anything really, or just dancing, making forts with your chairs at home and with a lot of pillows, like your little den, and then get your parents to look for you, to find you where you were hiding. And then laughing until your stomach hurt. Because somewhere inside, that part of you still remembers. While I'm actually talking to you over this podcast, it really resonates with me so much when I go back into my childhood that I can feel it in my body, just sharing with you now here. So it still exists and it still whispers, come, play with me again. It makes me want to leave this episode now and just go out into the grass and watch the clouds. So today, let me offer you 3 gentle reminders, maybe, or just reflections, whatever feels right to you. So, first of all, joy is not something you earn. You do not need to deserve joy. You do not need permission for that. And you also do not need life to become perfect first. Joy and struggle, they can exist together, and healing and laughter can exist together. So you are allowed for those moments of lightness just now and here with me today. This is what matters. It's so, so important to keep always a little part in you that has that joy, that preserves it, that nurtures it, that looks after it like this little precious diamond. And then the second one that comes from my mind is your inner child, your young me, remembers what lights you up. And maybe becoming or starts with remembering. It's not about fixing or striving, just remembering. What made you feel free? Free like a bird, alive, curious, playful, or soft. And the third thing that comes from my mind is tiny moments of joy matter deeply. It's not those dramatic changes, it's those little tiny sparks. It can be like an ice cream, can be music in the kitchen, a beach walk, or watching stars. It can be a picnic. It can be swimming or diving. Flowers, a sunshine, or just a silly moment. For those that grew up with a dog or a pet, maybe just thinking of that pet again, how that has been a companion in your life back then, was there for you, sitting next to you, around you when you need that emotional support, when you needed that kind of like best friend listening to you with those big eyes and soft ears. Or then just calling someone you love, laughing, just tiny moments of, there I am. So before we close today, I want to invite you to a little exercise, a tiny reunion. Take a slow breath now. And if it feels okay for you, close your eyes for a moment. And then picture yourself around 8 or 10 years old. See yourself clearly, if you can. What are you wearing? What energy do you have? What is lighting up your face? And now gently ask, what made me happiest? And maybe also reflect on what made you lose track of time. What made you feel free? And then ask yourself, what tiny piece of that could I bring back this week? Doesn't need to be big, just something really tiny. A song, perhaps, or a swim, drawing, walking barefoot, or a hot chocolate with marshmallows, or holding marshmallows over an open fire, a book, some laughter, sunsets, some rest, just wonder. And just be open with curiosity and see what's coming up for you. And where do you feel a pull? And then maybe that tiny thing becomes an act of love for yourself, for the life you're still building, for the person you're still becoming, growing with so much beauty from the inside and outside, with so much love and kindness. Because perhaps life hasn't stopped feeling light forever. Perhaps lightness has simply been waiting patiently for an invitation back in. Just like a good friend. So imagine you can bring that lightness back into your living room for a cup of tea and then enjoying that time together. So maybe this week is that week you let a little bit more joy in, a little more wonder, a little more play, and a few more of those beautiful, colorful butterflies. So thank you for being here with me throughout these past episodes and today's. I hope this month reminded you that becoming doesn't have to feel hard. Sometimes it can feel soft, joyful, and human, deeply human, and beautiful alive. It has been such a privilege to have you here with me today. Such a privilege and an honor to actually share these reflections with you here, because they really resonate so well with me. I hope that some of these reflections, some of these prompts and thought and ideas carried all the way to your heart, wherever you are around the globe, because I believe in those deep connections wherever you are. And it makes me fill with joy, with such happiness. So thank you for taking the time to tune in. Be gentle and kind to yourself. Bye for now and see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Fertility Counselor podcast. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. If you need support or have any questions, reach out to us via email at inquiries@counselingconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Fertility Connects. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about us and the services we offer, head to www.fertilityconnects.com. And if you're looking for support beyond fertility, visit www.counselingconnects.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.